Hi, this is Jason Fielder with the Daily Forex Report for July 23rd. Currently looking at the US-Japanese yen pair. This pair moved higher, closed higher than some of our previous resistance areas. Definitely looking for this pair to continue moving sideways overall with a bias that is sideways. Look for this pair to potentially move as high as 95.91, possibly as low as 92.79. Look for some resistance around 95.50 and look for some support around 94.42 in this particular pair. Now switching to the Euro-USD pair. This particular pair moved higher but then closed much lower. Actually broke a previous resistance. With it dropping down like this, we could definitely have it continue lower over this next session. Look for this pair to possibly go as high as 143.88, possibly as low as 140.31. Look for some resistance around 14200 and look for some support around 140.97. Now, switching over to the pound US dollar pair. This particular pair, here we go. This particular pair moved higher today but closed lower. Same thing with this particular pair as with the euro. It broke previous resistance, did not close above it, but did pull back. We're still looking at this pair moving sideways with a potential for this pair to move as high as 167.02, possibly as low as 163.16. Look for some resistance in this pair around 165.43 and look for some support around 164.22 in this particular pair. Now let's take a look at the US Swiss. This pair is moving sideways, biases sideways, closed higher today. We are looking for this pair to potentially move as high as 108.47, possibly as low as 105.56. Look for some resistance around 107.75 and look for some support around 1.0701 in this particular pair. Now, we do have the Eurozone releasing the German IFO expectations at 4 a.m. Eastern tomorrow. Consensus is that it has moved higher from 89.5 to 90.1. The pound has their GDP for the second quarter being released at 4:30 a.m. Eastern time. Consensus is things have gotten much better from negative 2.4% up to negative 0.3%, which could be really good news for the pound. Now, year to date, unfortunately, things have seemed to have worsened, which could definitely override the second quarter data as far as impact to the market. Things have moved from negative 4.90% to negative 5.20%. Will really depend on how these numbers play out as to whether it will affect the market. If the second quarter figures come out worse than expected, as well as the year to date, then of course we could see it impact the pound negatively. Now, what am I looking for during this next session? Well, during this next session, not looking for a whole lot. What I do want to talk about or show you real quick is the US Swiss. But I want to back out a little bit and go ahead and go to the week time frame. I know that's a little bit further out than we typically look, but I just want to show y'all some interesting things. Overall, the market's been moving sideways, as you can see right here. We do have some previous support at this point, and we do have some previous support at this point, as well as previous resistance right here that is now making its way into support where we are currently. Now, what I'm looking for is taking this low right here, draw a horizontal line on it, take this session's low and draw a horizontal line there, one here as well, and take this high, draw a horizontal line there, and take the low here and draw another horizontal line. If we get a break to the upside, look to buy. If we get a break to the downside, look to sell. Basically, when you draw these lines, on the chart is what you can do is then go and drop down to a lower time frame. And we'll do that in just a second. And you can kind of see at that point, if you drop down to say the 4-hour time frame and bring it in a little bit, here are your what would be your entry for a buy and your sell for that buy. Here would be an entry for a short, and then your exit for those. And you can see that there are a decent amount of pips between the two. This one's about 135, and this one, depending on which exit you took, if you took the very first exit, you're looking at around 180 pips. We're closer to the one on the lower end, so I definitely look to take it before, obviously we have a good ways for it to move higher to break through that point. But what's interesting is if you have a good trend system and you get if this pair comes on down and breaks through this point, is what I would be looking to do is between this point and this point on the 4-hour time frame, I would look for my trend system to kick in and basically look for shorts in my trend system between those 2 points. That way you're working with weekly support and resistance areas, but you're basically getting your trigger for entry, and your exit for exiting will be off of the 4-hour time frame. So you should be able to get a better entry and a better exit out of that. And that's where a good trend system comes into play. So you set it up on the higher time frame, drop down to the lower time frame. You can really pinpoint your entries and your exits, and you can pull consistent profits out of the market by doing this. Well, that about does it for today. Until next time, this is Jason Fielder. Good trading.